I think the problem is there is some validity to the rage, and that is that we kind of do live in a patriarchy. I've been thinking a lot about this. Our Father who art in heaven, it's like the whole Christian religion is based off my heavenly Father. Like there's a guy,
the divine masculine.
a man. Why isn't a woman?
Because we're the divine feminine. You guys don't function without us. Men are the warriors. Men are our strength, and women are the empathy and compassion and the caregiving. We have our roles, and our roles are equally as awesome. And I don't see it as a patriarchy. I see it as you're willing to go out there and slaughter animals and hang it off my balcony and skin it and feed me, then you know what? You deserve some respect, and so do I, because I am the life giver, even though I kind of got cheated out of that one, but I am the life giver. So I don't know. I see us as very equal, and if you look through our history, there's a lot of celebration of women. I think we just choose not to see it so we could be mad.
And Ian, you need to understand,
right.
Women have always been the primary victims of war. Says Hillary Clinton.
Jeez.
Women lose their husbands, their fathers, their sons in combat.
So heartbreaking.
That's an actual quote from Hillary Clinton.
That's circuitous.
Let me read you this quote from Hillary Clinton.
Benghazi?
Hillary Clinton said, "Women have always been the primary victims of war. Women lose their husbands, their fathers, their sons in combat." Now, this was considered to be pretty funny by a lot of people because it's like, dude, those people died, like, defending you. You're not the victim. Like, those people who died are the victims. But I'll put it this way. First of all, Snopes says the ratings is true. She actually said it. Patriarchy. So while the men go off and die and the women are victims because the men sacrificed themselves to save the women, the men were the ones, it was the patriarchy. I just think that patriarchy is this idea used to generate support for some kind of movement that gives someone power. It's that simple.
It's like the idea that men are secretly dominating society, like it's specifically men and not women. Like men are trying to control the women, and I do see that. Like
really, where were the complaints from the women on the Titanic when they were the only ones allowed to board the life ships, and all of you guys with your male privilege were sent into the icy waves to die? I didn't hear anything about patriarchy. Women were the divine. We were protected by our men. There's a reason, because men are savages, so we find good men to protect us from the savage men. And I think this utopia people have in their brain that people are good and are going to protect you is stupid, and it's unattainable. It's never going to happen except the yin and the yang. There's a lot of evil, and we have the divine masculine to protect us from that.
Ian, think about the noble rooster.
Oh,
yes,
With
the cockerel, the
Right.
mighty cockerel.
The rooster will run into a predator that it knows will kill it. It yells out a warning to the chickens who run and hide, and then it runs full speed to the predator, knowing it's going to die, to save their lives.
Yeah, those chickens got a matriarchy going on.
But hold on. Do you know what happens if there's no rooster and the chickens are out doing their thing? They just get run up and mauled by the predators. So we actually had to deal with this. I know I'm making a kind of a joke about chickens, but we were talking to farmers and people who are chicken experts about just opening up the coop for the chickens to come out and do their thing, and they were like, yeah, as long as you have a rooster. I was like, oh well, we actually didn't realize we had one at the time, but we didn't have a full grown rooster. You need the rooster.
Who defended the villages?
Exactly.
The women were the warriors when their men were out fighting to protect the divine feminine and the children. If anyone came to that village, F around and find out. That is what happened. Like, try that woman.
At some point, what it seems like some men or some people decided, let's build a system where men are in control so that if stuff hits the fan, we can protect the women.
No.
So like they still
we
want
let
to.
you think you're in control. Women are the most highly manipulative creatures on this earth. The fact that you guys walk around thinking you've oppressed us, as all we've done is legit chess pieces with you simpletons. I mean, we love you.
She's right.
But it's
come on.
the God is a
It's
man
true.
thing that drives me nuts.
That's
God's
part
not
of
a
their
man.
trick, Ian. Wake up.
That's all we do.
Think, Ian. Think.
Letting me think God is a man.
Majority of college students are female right now, and they're saying they're the ones who are oppressed. They're the ones who have the college degrees and are starting to make more money. If you look at the gender wage gap, it's not even real, and yet men are just like, okay, and they're trying to pass laws that keep empowering women.
Yeah, it goes back. It goes deeper than American.
Every king had a really, really smart, manipulative wife.
Or like 6 of them.
Yeah,
And you are going to be kicked out of the club because you've just exposed their secrets.
How dare
The
you.
secrets of
I
the
don't
sisterhood.
care. None of you are my friends. You guys are evil and vindictive and manipulative, and that's why I don't hardly have any friends. It was very hard to find some that didn't do it back.
It's true. Girls aren't
We're
nice.
vicious.
We are not nice, and I have long said that women are the neck that turns the head. This is 100%
Remember
true.
in ancient Rome where he's like, we will
Yes.
murder you all if you gossip, and they're like, ha ha, we will continue.
No, I haven't heard that story.
Yeah, they were like, we will continue to destroy. I have friends that catfished married couples,
Jeez.
men, just to make them divorce and took joy in it. And they didn't even know. And then tell me later, and I'm like, girl, you are messed up. We're mean.
And look at this Ian guy. He's all like, "We are actually in charge."
I'm
I
just
love
concerned
it.
with the system. Like, there are individual bouts of craziness on all sides, but saying that God is a man is crazy to me. I was about to let loose some
God
profanity.
made Adam and was like, oh man, what a mistake. I can do
Yeah, God
better.
made Adam first, and
Then
then
he
a woman came out of
stole
Adam.
from
It's
him.
like all man dominated, and it
No.
was written by dudes in a.
He
Bro,
said,
bro,
I can do
bro.
better, so he made better.
Well, this is what
Would
the
you
book says.
think about political power? Would you rather be the face sitting beneath the sword of Damocles, everyone knows who you are, knows who to come after, or the shadow power behind it, the financiers?
I
who
like
have
the
control
shadow power. I
and
like the
no-
strategist.
So-
Personally.
so look,
Women don't
they're
want
both
that
cool.
position. We don't want to sit there. Men are the ones, the proud peacocking. Look at my feathers. I'm so great. And women are like, I'm in the shadows plotting your demise, and you don't even know it.
Actually, maybe.
But let's to be honest, to be real. I wouldn't say they're planning the demise. Obviously, it's a joke, but they are planning their comfort, saying, you know,
Sometimes.
he's gonna for the longest time. You have this system where some women felt it was oppressive, and in some ways it was. There was social enforcement, like women typically didn't have jobs, so it was hard for those who did. But they also didn't have to go to, I don't know, petroleum rigs and lose their arms, or go wait around in sewers pulling rat kings from
That's why they
pipes.
didn't want to vote. They're like, we don't want to end that crap. Like, there was a whole bunch of women. They're like, we don't want part of this
Anti-suffragette.
garbage that these idiots are in.
You used to have to be in some places, in order to vote, you had to be signed up for the fire brigade, things like that. And so if you ask modern leftists, they'll tell you, oh, that was all propaganda to take away women's rights to vote and everything, so they wouldn't get it. But there were actually women who are like, you mean I have to sign up for the fire brigade? I don't want to do that. Let them take care of it. It used to be that service guaranteed citizenship to a certain degree, right? If you wanted the right to vote, there was some responsibility expected in your contribution to the community. And just, it started to erode. It used to be that voting came with responsibilities, and they eventually said universal suffrage. You know, you just vote. Everybody votes. Now, that's been exploited to a great degree. And my opinion's actually been shifting on it a bit, especially after I saw Jon Stewart. And this is an old article where he said that Jon Stewart said we should bring back the draft in some form because people have lost their sense of community. He wasn't saying like military draft. He was effectively saying service guarantee citizenship. Do something for your community to prove you care about it. And then, you know, he didn't tie it to voting.
I still love John because he's not annoying. He went away and he was like, I'm not going to be like every other celebrity on Twitter. Look at how annoying I am. I'm all annoying. Like, shut up.
I love that guy.
Be funny. Back of the $20 bill, man. Just be funny. And that's what he is. He's a brilliant, brilliant man. But yeah, women aren't victims. And when you don't think of yourself as a victim, it's just not there. I don't see it because I'm no one's victim. I go into rooms and I command them. Like, I'm not like, oh, I'm not in charge here. There's a man. Like, I've never felt that way. And once a chick feels that way,
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
yeah.
That's for sure. That's why this CRT stuff bothers me.
Yeah.
I don't think that people are victims, but it does seem like the system was set up by men to give men like a foothold with the whole God as a man.
Men were strong.
The Venetian patriarchy was like all about the old or the wealthiest man would control the family's money and run the city. And
So when you put a man at the top of the hierarchy, who does he have behind him? Who is he supporting? Who is he pulling up with him? He's pulling up his family.
Dude, my man goes out and hacks down trees and drags 300-pound logs across a field. And if I commanded him to do something for me and it was reasonable, he would do it.
100%.
And I love it. We're equal, but I know that, like, he would die for me. This, like, powerhouse would put himself first. Like, I feel great over here. I'm a queen.
And who did they kill in the French Revolution?
Well, the king and the queen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So gender doesn't.
No, look. I certainly think it's obvious that sexism has existed for a long time, and certainly there's been institutional misogyny in many ways, and we've overcome those things. But to act like women were powerless.
Look at Cleopatra. She floated Egypt longer than it should have been floated with the power between her legs. She was like, wait a minute, I can manipulate all these bros.
Julius Caesar, I think.
Mark Antony, like she was going for it. And Egypt would have fallen years before, but she was cunning and she was smart. And they say she wasn't even that hot. She just knew what to do.
Charisma.
Yeah.
She killed her sister, I think. Her sister was trying to kill her, so she had her killed or something.
She was a direct descendant of Alexander the Great's first in command. And they inbred the whole time. So I'm sure something was going crazy because they all kept it in the family. So they were like Greek. That's why when everyone's like, Cleopatra was this color, I'm like, Cleopatra was Greek. Okay? Let's just be real.
Am I wrong that we live in like a patriarchal...
Yes.
Christianity is like patriarchal?
You have been brainwashed by
a
bunch of weak idiots that want me to be a victim.
But
I'm not.
Am I right? Is it true that Christianity is patriarchal?
I don't see
or the
it
Catholicism
that
is
way.
patriarchal?
I think the answer to that is yes.
Okay, look. Eve went and she did what she wanted. She was like, I'm going to do what I want. And then the dude suffered for it, just like my husband does every day when I make decisions. right? So I don't find it like the patriarch. I don't know. I just look at the world differently. And once you do, like, you just don't feel it. I think it used to be a little sucky, but like I walk around every single day, like armed, and I feel good. The great equalizer on me. I'm just like, whatever. I'm powerful.
It sounds like you're saying that men sort of planned this. But I just don't see that. I think when you look at, we talked about this in a bunch of our dating segments. If you have 100 men and 1 woman, your civilization is in serious danger.
Yeah.
If you have 100 women and 1 man, your civilization will probably thrive because you can have a lot more kids. That natural component of human existence means there's always going to be a bias in favor of protecting women as more valuable. Just like the rooster sacrificing himself. If you have 100 men and 100 women, you can lose 99 men in battle, and your tribe, your village, your town will survive. Not so much the other way around. That's why there was raping and pillaging. It meant to steal, but they would take the women because the women were the most important thing. So you look at that from an evolutionary perspective or a sociological perspective, and over time, you're going to see more and more institutions rise up solely to protect women. I can certainly imagine at a certain point it became overbearing, and especially as we've become safer and safer, we have secured the borders of this country, or at least we did a while ago, to the point where it's way safer now. You don't got to worry about banditos coming in and Viking raiders storming the beaches and stealing your women. So now we don't need a lot of those protections. But to act like when we were powerless, when they were the ones that were basically the reason for the protections.
Can we make this nerdy? Game of Thrones. Cersei Lannister in season 1 or 2 cowered in the Red Keep as all the men fought. And she was scared. Oh my God, Stannis is going to come kill me. That diabolical, scheming broad near the end, you knew who was in power. She killed her husband. She did all this horrible crap to everyone. Banged her brother, had bastard children. Everything wrong that happened in King's Landing was because of her. And then she sat on the Iron Throne like, yep, I did it. So who was in power, Ian? Who was it?
She's in Game of Thrones.
It was Cersei.
Cersei was running the show.
Until those stones smashed her head in.
I mean, it was her dad.
Until season 8 destroyed all her lives.
Right?
You see,
Cersei
George
was
R. R.
amazing.
Martin was like, I should have kept ahead of the show.
Yeah,
I was hoping there was a troll. Every moment I'm like, he's just going to come out. It's just a big troll. Like me and chat, it's just a troll. It's all a lie. I'm black-pilled. There was never any books. He ran out of ideas.
They got to retcon it.
Yeah.
They can do that. Just rewrite season 5, 6, and 7.
Well, it's like there's a show called Full Metal Alchemist. Have you ever heard of it?
I've heard of it.
I've heard of it, but not
It's an anime. So the way they do anime is like someone will write the comic version, and then they'll start animating. A month. So like they're on chapter 10. They're making episode 1 of the show, and so the comic is always ahead of the show. In this instance, the comic stopped and the show kept going. And then they later came back and redid a new branch of the show with the new storyline. So if they decide to redo seasons 7 and 8 with like the new fixed writing,
we'll
I'm
have
there for it.
CGI like when they make like old or young Kurt Russell and not Avengers.
Snake Plissken.
Ant-Man.
Not Ant-Man. The really cool ones. The with stupid.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
Yes.
I always
yeah.
forget that. I have like a
love
little
that.
hate in my heart. I'll tell you guys off camera.
Who played the guy in Ant-Man? The old guy?
I didn't see it.
I can't remember his name.
Oh,
You know what I'm talking about?
yeah. Wasn't he the one that got throat cancer from cunnilingus?
Oh, what?
Wasn't he married to
That's next level,
Catherine
man.
Zeta-Jones?
Oh, that's Michael Douglas.
Yes,
is that
yes.
him?
They de-aged him in Ant-Man.
Oh wow.
He's like
Oh.
a young version, and in the Avengers, there's like a 20-year-old version.
Yeah,
of him.
and I
That's
thought it was pretty
awesome.
good. So they could do that for Game of Thrones. Problem fixed. We're good.
Just give me like a stick figure animation explaining the fixed version of it. I'm satisfied.
Yeah.
Like, here's the quick synopsis. We fixed the storyline.
Cartoon.
I'm sure fans have
Jon
done it.
Snow can say something besides "I don't want it." And she's my queen.
Dude, they should have brought Ned Stark back. I mean, come on, guys.
As a
Well, he
zombie.
was
Use
in
magic. Use
he
the
was
red,
in the
Red Queen.
books.
Bring him back. Reunite the Starks. That would have been the best.
When they stole Dany's dragons in the Houses of the Undying, she had visions of him without his head and Robb Stark with a wolf on his head, and they didn't show it. And I was like, damn, that would have been real cool. Anyway, I'm sorry. I took us way off.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. If you want to see the full show, come back to this channel, youtube.com/TimcastIRL, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., where you can leave comments and super chat, and we actually will read your comments on the show. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and if you want exclusive members-only content, segments you can't get anywhere else, go to timcast.com, become a member, and we even have full bonus episodes. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.